Marie Antoinette. She's the one historical figure that almost everyone has heard of. And even though I know she never said that famous quote attributed to her, let them eat cake, I still think of it every time that I hear her name. Hi, I'm Shayna Galen. I'm the author of over 50 historical romances. I've written a 4-book series featuring the fictional unsung heroines of the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. It's called The Scarlet Chronicles. And in this video series, I'm taking you on a deep dive into the research that I did for the series. This is part 7 of everything you didn't know that you really wanted to know about the French Revolution. Marie Antoinette was a central figure in the French Revolution mainly because she was so widely despised by the people. Let's take a look at why she was so hated. Marie Antoinette was born Maria Antonia Josepha Johanna. She was an Archduchess of Austria, and she was the 15th and second youngest child of the Empress Maria Theresa and Francis I, the Holy Roman Emperor. Her mother was a brilliant politician, and the Empress excelled at using the marriages of her children to forge alliances. Maria Antonia's marriage was very much a bid by the Austrians to ensure peace with France, who had been their enemy in the past. Maria Antonia's name was changed to Marie Antoinette when she arrived in France for her marriage to Louis Auguste, later Louis XVI. She was only 14, and the Dauphin was not much older. The royal couple didn't have any children until they had been married for 8 years. This was partly due to Louis Auguste's lack of interest in sex, and partly because even when Louis did become interested, he and Marie Antoinette did not know what to do. Fortunately, Marie Antoinette's older brother made a trip to France and explained to the couple how everything worked. I'll discuss the king and the royal children next week, but eventually Louis and Marie Antoinette had 4 children together, and here's a painting with 2 of her eldest. Why was Marie Antoinette so hated? So as I've discussed, Marie Antoinette never said, "let them eat cake." But that was just one of the many, many lies that was told about her to stir up hatred among the people and add fuel to the fire of the revolution. Long before the revolution, Marie Antoinette was disliked simply because she was Austrian. She was called La Autrichienne, which is a play on the French word for an Austrian woman and the French word chien, or female dog. Put it together and you have Austrian bitch. I honestly believe that no matter what Marie Antoinette did, she would have been disliked. When she dressed extravagantly, she was criticized for spending too much money. When she dressed simply, she was criticized for not looking royal enough. Laws against libel were basically non-existent in France at the time, and anyone could publish blatant lies about the queen. These libels printed stories about her legion of supposed lovers, orgies at Versailles, and even accused the queen of incest with her son. Some of these lies about her promiscuity were published even before the birth of her first child. And as I explained earlier, Marie Antoinette was sexually naive and very inexperienced early in her marriage. Very little was ever printed about the queen's generosity and her charity. And when she did get to the poor, she was criticized for being a spendthrift. So as I said, she really couldn't win. All of this is not to imply that Marie Antoinette didn't live extravagantly or spend money frivolously. She certainly did. But so did all the other kings and queens of France. She was no worse, and in my opinion, she was in some ways better. Now, the revolutionaries believed, of course, that the nobility should not have more rights than the common people, but really the common man, because women weren't given rights under the revolutionary government. Of course, in this modern age, we mostly accept that basic premise. We don't believe in divine right to rule. So it's hard to feel sorry for a queen, but in the interest of humanizing her a bit, let me just say that no one can really argue that she wasn't a devoted wife and mother. Never once in any letters or conversations that were reported did the queen ever consider leaving her children or her husband when the revolution broke out. She always wanted the family to stay together. She could have fled to Austria at the start of the uprising. She had family waiting for her, and in the early days, many nobles fled, including the king's own brothers. But no matter how bad the situation became, and it became very bad, Marie Antoinette would not leave her family. She may not have been born in France, but she gave her adopted country her loyalty, and she died for it. If you want to know more about Marie Antoinette, there are some really great biographies. Most of the movies, I'm not really a big fan of them because they play a lot into the myths about the queen. But right now on PBS Masterpiece, there's a great series called Marie Antoinette. I mean, it's fictionalized, of course, but it gets a lot of things right. And because it's a series, it spends a little bit more time on events that aren't included in short movies, like the libels and how Marie Antoinette's brother advised the future king and queen on things like marital relations. Check out that PBS Masterpiece series and then join me for part 8 of everything you didn't know you really wanted to know about the French Revolution, Louis XVI, and the royal children.